This is your story. Don't let other people write it. Another day for a new build. We finished our last build, which was the underwater city. Turned out spectacular, as you saw in the last episode. Welcome to the new episode. But today, we got to do a new build. The sun is setting. The new build is something I may not know much about, but I'm gonna try my best. I may not know much about it, but I'm gonna try, because today, a Game of Thrones build. We are building Winterfell from Game of Thrones. I think that's what it's called, right? I don't know. I've never seen Game of Thrones. We are building Winterfell. Yeah. We got a couple of inspo picks to work off of here. I don't know what this tree is. Apparently this tree is important or something. Yeah, but we are building a Game of Thrones build. Look at it. Here's the castle reference. Also got this tree here. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the tree. But we're doing Winterfell. We're doing Winterfell, gamers. It's happening. Hold on, I gotta sleep because it's nighttime. Give me a second. Ouch! Meow. But yeah, like I said, I've never done I don't really know. I've never seen Game of Thrones. Like, I know it's a highly praised show and stuff. But I'm doing this build for my boy limecookii. And they wanted something Game of Thrones inspired. So we're gonna try to build Winterfell here. Or not a replica of it by any means. I will 100% just do my own thing with it. It'll be a Winterfell inspired build, for sure. I don't really know much about the lore of Game of Thrones, but yeah, I have my ideas. So we have a lot of stuff that we need to do now. We have to actually, there's not too much clearing to do, but I'm not sure how I feel about the edge here. This is not, so for context, Vemheim is a little bit that way, and then a little bit further from Vemheim over this way is Shortsmead, and then a little bit over this way is the Cherry Bomb Forest. So we're near some other builds. I don't know how I feel about this beach here. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I'm vibing with it. We might terraform the whole thing. Change it to dirt instead. I don't particularly like it. I don't know. So we might change this out. I did bring over Gigants this time because we're not building underwater anymore. So we're gonna need them. Yeah, we got the castle to build. I'd like to do a village of some sort as well. Oh my lord, I haven't really looked at this area too much. It looks like some spots that I might have to clean up a little bit. Got to do probably a little bit of tree chopping, a little bit of everything. But before we do anything else for this build, I would like to start. Hold on! Oh, hi, sweetie. Please. What we need to do is first thing we need to do is connect up the build. What I mean by that, the first thing I want to do for this build is connect up to a path, as all of my builds are connected up via path, if I can, and this build is no different. So we are going to start off with a simple path, probably going through the spruce biome here. You see a little bridge over there, and then Vemheim's right over there. Shortsmead is a little bit more that way. Where we'll do like a path going through this area here. Oh, looks like there's a lush cave underneath here. Interesting. And then we'll connect it up all the way to the Winterfell inspired build. I don't know what we're gonna call this area. We're gonna have to think about that during building the building process here. But yeah, let's go ahead and get locked in. Maybe clear out some trees just a little bit. Clear out Actually, maybe we may not need to do too much tree clearing. But the first thing I'm going to focus on is getting this path going. So let's get locked in. Yeah, we've been doing a little bit of building, as you just saw, and we have our path that will be connected up to the Winterfell inspired build. And I'm super excited to get started on it. But before we can do anything, as you guys always know, I love doing well, not that I love doing it. Well, I do love doing it, but like I always terraform the area that I'm going to be working with. So there's a couple of things that I don't like about this area. So location wise, I do like the location, you know, it's by like this, what is this biome called again? It's by this nice like frozen ocean. It's pretty cool. You know, it has nice little terrain here. It's nice. But that being said, it's not perfect. I splashed a little bit of water just so you guys can see a little bit more what I'm talking about. But yeah, all of this is not all of it, but like the edge here, a lot of it is I think it's called a snowy beach. Yeah, it's a snowy beach. So what we're going to do with it, we are going to get rid of all the sand by just building over it. Gonna make all of this dirt. After we're done doing that, we're going to fill in all the gaps and holes and just bad terrain and smoothing it out to my liking. After all of that's done though, then we just gotta resource collect and then we can start building what we need to build. We'll probably build the castle after that. So I'm excited for that. But first things first, I gotta sleep. First things first though, we gotta get locked in and we gotta kind of prep the area, or as I like to call it, create my canvas. The canvas is a little messy. Now we're gonna repair it and get our canvas ready to build. Let's get locked in. And with that, we've gotten some progress. Now, listen, I know it doesn't look like we did much, but we had to fix a lot of the terrain here. So like if I just, yeah, we had to fix a lot of the terrain. So as you guys saw, I wasn't quite happy with the terrain. So we changed it to my liking. But we are now getting ready to start building pretty soon. But first, I got my netherrack and a dream. We're going to outline where I want all the houses to be, where I want the castle to be, and then we're gonna start building up everything. As we were, you know, terraforming the land here and fixing all the things that I wanted to fix, as you guys saw, we also set up some beacons so that we can get speed, jump boost, resistance, regeneration while we're working on this build, so we could build this build at the most efficient rate that we can. To go along with that, I also have collected the resources that we need for the build, hopefully. Now, the one that I'm a little bit concerned about is this one. I don't think this is enough. I was planning on having this for the roof. We'll see, but we're gonna use a lot. It's gonna be a deep slate castle. So I was looking at the images of the Winterfell castle and I was like, we could make this out of stone, but I was like, a deep slate castle would be kind of cool. So we're gonna make it out of deep slate. We got a lot of deep slate. If we need more, we can get more. Same thing with this. Yeah, we have a couple of things here for the houses as well as the castle itself. So I'm super excited here to get started on this. But first, we're just gonna do just a little bit outlining and then we'll get back to it. Alrighty, we made some progress on the build. We have outlined a lot of things. Ignore the snow, kind of ruins some of it, so it's kind of hard to see here and there. But we have outlined where the houses are gonna go, where the paths are gonna go, and more importantly, where the Winterfell castle is gonna go. So I'm super excited. We have everything outlined and ready to go, and now all we got to do is build it up. And I'm excited to get going on this. I think it's gonna be a pretty cool castle. The Winterfell castle in general is kind of a strange looking castle. I'm not gonna lie. It's cool, but like the way that they do the towers are kind of strange. I've never really seen that in a castle before. So it's gonna be interesting trying to do that. But I'm excited to get going on this. Going on this castle. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. So without wasting any more time, I think it's time to get locked in and start building up this castle. We have, well, actually, before we do that, I want to talk a little bit about what we have collected here. It's going to be a deep slate castle, so that'll be fun. Okay, now we can get locked in on the castle. And we have been cooking. Look at that castle right there. It is coming along beautifully. We built it up, textured it, everything. But yeah, everything is looking absolutely spectacular, and I'm really happy with how this castle turned out. Funny enough though, the thing that took the longest for this castle, at least what felt like it took the longest, was all the string. Also, recently, Mojang has decided to change the texture of string. So now it's way more obvious when you're trying to string your build to avoid snow. But I still like what we did here. We had a lot of the snow pile up around the sides, like it was shoveled kind of vibe. But yeah, I think this turned out really cool. We have a lot of things that we got to do still. The castle itself is done, but I still want to get like a path going in between here and stuff. I think that'd be cool, leading to the door and over here and stuff. Obviously, we have to do the interior, but we got to do something over this way. So, obviously, I'm doing a Winterfell inspired build, not a replica. But one thing I would like to do is do, I don't know, I think it's called I'm probably going to get cooked in the comments, but I believe it's called the weirwood tree. I'm sorry to the Game of Thrones fans that maybe I mispronounced it, but the weirwood tree, which is basically just like this white and red tree that looks pretty cool. So we're gonna build that right over here, over on this side of the castle. The castle itself is done. The exterior is anyway. But now we're gonna build that up over here. We spent a little bit of time collecting some resources for where we're gonna do here. Right here, right here, right here, right here. You know, we got some stuff for it. It'll be interesting doing this. It's funny because we're gonna do this red tree, and then in a couple of months down the line, there's going to be red leaves added to the game. So I'm gonna be using what I could use now, because I have to do this build and I have to finish it. But a little bit down the line, there's literally going to be red leaves in the game. Bad timing on my part, I guess. It is what it is. But I'm excited to get started on this tree. It's gonna go right here, and it'll be kind of like the last thing exterior wise that we're doing for this castle here. We're gonna build up this tree. After we do the tree, then we're gonna get a little bit more going with the village over here that is completely covered by snow, like the outlines and stuff. But it's time to get locked in and start working on this tree. And with that, the tree is done. It's looking pretty cool. We went through a couple different variations of this tree, but we ended up on this, and I think this one looks really, really cool. I'm very, very pleased and happy with how this turned out. Got nice little candles and stuff going around, looking cool. But I know in the show, the tree has a face in the show, so I was thinking maybe we just do one of these, and then I know it isn't probably the greatest. Actually, we don't need. I don't know if we could either put it on an item frame, or we could do we could just like leave it there. Honestly, no item frame probably better. If like it doesn't ruin the tree, like it's like if you know the show, you know, it adds to it, you know. Oh, hold on, we got sleeve. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, I'm thinking like having it there without the item frame might be better, because like it just looks like, if you don't know, it just looks like a skull that's just sitting there, right? But if you do know, then it's like, oh, okay, that's supposed to be like the face. Whatever. I don't really know. I'll be honest. Again, I mentioned earlier in the video, I've never seen Game of Thrones, so I have no idea what the lore behind the face on the tree is. But I thought, you know, it'd be cool to add this to it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. But I really want to get the rest of this build going. I wanna crank this build out. So the next steps here is, I know a lot of it is covered already. I want to get the layout for everything going. So mainly the path. I want to get the path going. So let's get started and get the path going right now, so that we can get the rest of this going with the houses. So let's do a quick little right into the paths. Let's get locked in and start working on some of these paths. And with a little bit more building, we got a lot of progress going. This is looking really, really cool so far with the paths and everything. The paths are in place. We even did paths through the inside the castle walls here. Looking spectacular. But yeah, if you've seen any of my videos before, we did basically the same path that we did, but a little bit wider. The same path that, or similar path that. Oh, and it's snowing now, I guess. A similar path to what we did for Vemheim, It's just kind of the best path to do for a snow build, to be honest. Just because you don't have to worry about stringing the path blocks. And then it's very minimal string action you have to worry about. But like, I just love the vibe of like the shoveled snow look when you're walking through here, you know. Just walking through and it really helps you feel immersed in the area and stuff. But yeah, this is looking really, really cool. I might have to wait for the snow to go away. Let me sleep. There we go, much better. Much better. Now I can see again. But yeah, we have it snowed a little bit there, but you can still see the outlines for the houses. Now that the paths are in place, we gotta build up the houses. And speaking of building up the houses, I know some of you guys have been watching this video and wondering, what is gonna be the lore for this area? Like, I know, so I've never actually seen Game of Thrones, but obviously I create my own lore for every build that I do in this world. Now you might be wondering about some of the lore of this area, and I think it's time to reveal some of that lore and stuff, I think. So these houses are going to be cozy little like winter shacks, and these are going to be like the houses for people who are being trained, you say? This area, basically Limefell is what we're going to be calling this area. Limefell is basically a training site, basically. So the people will have extra houses around the outside for people to sleep in and do their thing or whatever. But people who live here are being trained for the military, basically, of the world. So Lime, in the lore of the world, he's in... Actually, maybe I show you guys, actually. You know what? Let's do a field trip. Let's do a field trip. Let me show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Field trip time, and we're back here at the mods marshland. Now, if you're not familiar with this build, I did this build for my mod team on my streaming platforms, mainly Twitch. Twitch being my main platform for streaming. So I've littered a bunch of my moderators just kind of hanging out throughout the build here, and stuff. And kind of the lore of the mods marshland is they're kind of protectors of the world, you know. They try to keep peace and everything. And so going up here, we have Lime's office. This is the person who we're doing the build for. This is my friend Lime. And so in this office, he kind of, you know, does his thing. But the main thing is to point out is that this is kind of like where he is organizing stuff to go to Limefell and stuff, which is basically like a military site and stuff. Also, it's also going to double as something else, which I will tell you guys in a minute. Yeah, so here's Lime kind of doing the thing. So this is kind of the Limefell kind of became a thing because of the mods marshland, and they needed the military to kind of help protect the world and whatnot, that kind of thing. But we got to go back so I can continue telling you guys the lore. And we're back again. So as I was saying, this is kind of like the military area where they get trained and stuff and try to whatever else, and the soldiers will kind of be sleeping in these shacks and stuff. But another thing that this place will double as is a jail. So obviously we're not going to be doing the interior yet for this, but I wanted to mention it now, probably discuss it a little bit more. But this will also double as a jail. So one of the first things you'll see walking into the castle is the jail cells and stuff, and it'll just add to the rugged kind of vibe that we have going on with training everybody here and stuff, seeing all the prisoners and everything. So it'll double as a jail, also a military, and a place to be trained by the one and only Limecookii. But yeah, that's gonna be the lore for this area. So I think it's gonna be pretty cool. That being said, now that you guys know a little bit more about the lore, we gotta start actually building up these houses. And with building up these houses, I want them to be kind of like, you know, some shacks and stuff, basically. So I want it to be mainly out of wood. A lot of dark oak, a lot of spruce wood, that kind of stuff, which we have right here, ready to go. So, yeah, and maybe some other blocks too. But, yeah, that's what we're going to do here. And I'm super excited. And I think it's time to get locked on these houses. We have a lot of houses to do. We have a lot of interiors to do. So, let's get locked in and get started on some of these houses. That all the houses and the interiors are done. Looks like we gotta sleep in a second, but yeah, all the houses are done, all the interiors are done. We are vibing. Now I gotta sleep. But here, let me show you guys how the interiors look. So the lore is that these are like, let me sleep. The lore is that all these shacks hold multiple soldiers, and basically they're sleeping here, and then when they wake up, they're going all the way to the Limefell castle, inspired off of Winterfell, and are going to go train. This is a training site where they train for the military and whatnot, as well as it doubles as a jail. But yeah, every single house is done. Every single interior is done. The only thing left to do on the build is the castle interior, which I'm excited about. I'm gonna do some jail cells and some other things in there, which I'm super excited about. I think we're all excited to get this build done. So, without further ado, it's time to get locked in and finish this build. Let's get to it. Oh, actually, I guess I gotta also get rid of these. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna get rid of these, and then we're just gonna get locked in. Let's get locked in. right. And the build is done. Limecookie's Empire, Limefell, is finished. It's done. It's finished. Here's Lime. Here's Jelly, hanging out and vibing. This room is so cool. So I don't really know much about Game of Thrones, but what Lime told me is that there's not really any thrones in Game of Thrones. So instead of doing a throne this time, we did this is taken from a scene from the show. I don't know what scene, but it looks cool though. I really like this room. No, there's no thrones in Winterfell. Oh, okay. See, he corrected me in chat. You see? No idea what I'm talking about. See, I have no idea anything about the show. But yeah, he also requested to be called Lime of the North. But yeah, and then here's Jelly over here as well. But yeah, this build turned out really cool. Here's the little round table room. I don't know what I want to really call this room. We got the jail cells. Ignore the shulker monster. That's not going to be there later. We have a little place for the prisoners to go eat. You have the kitchen in here and stuff. The bedroom. Ouch! Brings you to the wirewood tree. I probably didn't pronounce that correctly, but the wirewood tree, veerwood tree, something like that. Some tree. Anyway, but yeah, got all the houses, all the interiors, looking incredible. And my favorite view of this build is all the. Excuse me. How dare! Dah. Oh, I missed. How dare you interrupt my video! Ouch. 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 Oh, no, please. He's too powerful. Perfect. First try. Professional Minecrafter, by the way. Yeah, take a look at this view here. Me enhance and zoom. Look at that view of this build. Looking incredible. I am in love with this build. We have a lot of cleanup to do, though. We have shulker boxes here. We have shulker boxes on the castle. And then all the way over here, covered in snow, is the other shulker boxes that we were using for the build. So we still have a lot of cleanup to do. But again, as per usual, that's a later Jamal problem. And I guess for now, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.